The new Mazda 3 replaced its somewhat anonymous-looking predecessor at the beginning of this year and brought with it the company's new design language and lightweight engineering ethos. The result is a handsome arrangement of curves and swooping lines that come together at the front, where they intersect the headlights and create the wing motif grille that now features across much of the Mazda range. The rear design has its share of neat touches too, with twin exhausts, sharp fin antenna and a subtle roof spoiler, while the proportions themselves are not unlike a rear-wheel drive car. Of course, it's still front-wheel drive, and that means there's more space for passengers, with a good range of seat and steering wheel adjustment and a high transmission tunnel that cocoons the driver. The dash itself is well laid out. The ventilation controls operate smoothly, while the instruments are centred around the rev counter with an inset digital speedo, the output from which also appears on a head-up display that rises from the top of the instrument binnacle. Most of the car's functions are controlled by the company's excellent new media system, which you can interact with either via the touchscreen, by issuing voice commands, or the twisty-turny controller mounted just behind the gear lever. Some of the menus are a little convoluted, but overall it works well, and the screen itself deserves special praise for its clarity. Rear seat passengers should be happy enough, and despite the sloping roofline, headroom is fine. Footroom, though, is perhaps a little tight when initially climbing aboard, and there's quite a prominent transmission tunnel to contend with. Still, the seats fold forward easily to accommodate larger loads, and doing so increases cargo space from 364 litres to 1,263 litres. 4 engines are available, starting with a 1.5 litre petrol unit with 100 PS and a pair of 2 litre units with either 120 or 165 PS, as fitted to our car. Pick of the bunch, though, is the 2.2 litre twin-turbo diesel with 150 PS and 380 Nm of torque. The 2 litre is a little gruff on start-up and at low revs, but settles down nicely enough once on the move. More noticeable, though, is the fabulously slick shifting gearbox, and Mazda have given the 3 their trademark stubby and short-throw gear lever that makes ratcheting your way through the ratios a real pleasure. On paper, the 2 litre isn't slow, with an 8.2 second 0 to 60 time and 130 mph top speed, but it can feel a little lethargic at low speeds. Perversely, however, it's also very forgiving of being in the wrong gear, and there are even times when the shift indicator will advise 6th gear at just 30 mph. We'd still choose a diesel though, its substantial torque reserves making it feel the nippier of the two in real-world driving. It's also more efficient, and while our average with the petrol model was around 43 mpg, not far off its government figure of 48.7, the diesel's official figure of 72.4 mpg is nothing short of incredible. Also surprising is the ride. The suspension seems to deal particularly well with large imperfections and even smothers speed bumps into submission. This suppleness doesn't corrupt the handling, thankfully, and on a set of twisties the responsive steering combines with a well-balanced body control to produce something agile and consistent. There are no gimmicks to it, it's just good old well-sorted handling. In fact, our only criticism is that the larger 18-inch wheels of our sport model do generate quite a bit of road noise, but that's hardly a deal breaker. The Mazda 3 is available in 3 grades, SE, SEL and Sport, each with the option of satellite navigation. They're all well equipped and prices start from £16,695 for the 1.5 or £19,245 for the diesel. We've driven every model in the range, and while the diesel is our favourite, there's not a duff model amongst them, and even the most basic model is quite a cheerful place to be. The Mazda 3 then doesn't just drive well, there's also something very trustworthy about it. And if I had to choose between this, a Golf and a Focus, I'd choose the Mazda.